It turns out a lot of people, myself included, were a bit disappointed by COVID not actually being the zombie virus. I know, very strange. But a certain televangelist hasn't quite given up the dream of having his arm gnawed off by a member of the undead. In fact, on Tuesday, Right Wing Watch flagged a segment on Jim Bakker's show where Steve Quayle, a far-right conspiracy theorist, suggested that COVID-19 nasal swabs are part of a government plot to create an army of face-eating zombies. Take a look.
Zombies that are on the earth are a disease like any other disease that affects people, and they become like zombies. Is that right?
Forgive me, but that's only part of the story. Zombies also have the evil spiritual entity known as demon possession, okay? Because there is no rationale with a zombie. The best way to explain zombies' bloodlust is this: the appetite of demons expressed through humans. It should be astonishing to people that the richest people in the world, not all of them, but some of them, are into occult ceremonies where they have to drink, blood that's extracted from a tortured child. Now that's sick, but that's the appetite of demons expressed through humans.
Wow. Okay, zombies. We're talking about zombies, folks. It's funny because the guy actually combined this with a little bit of QAnon. Talking about the drinking of the blood of the children. Yes, the demons eating the zombies eating the flesh. Yes, and don't forget, it's the government. It's the government's fault. The government is taking your DNA. It's going to create Wait, wouldn't that be zombie clones if it was taking your DNA? Wouldn't they clone you and then turn you into or turn that clone into an undead? Imagine being eaten by yourself. Really strange. And look, people believe this stuff, and that's the saddest, most hilarious part of this. All right, and they believe it. They believe in this stuff. Now, compare this to, of course, belief in getting the vaccine. Right. There are polls. 45% of evangelical Christians, according to a new poll, refuse to get the COVID-19 vaccine. That problem is especially prevalent among right-wing men. Right-wing males not interested in getting the vaccine. They're just not. And not only that, but there's people out there, of course, a lot of Republicans that still believe that COVID-19 is a hoax. It's killed over 500,000 Americans. But no, it's a hoax. It's not dangerous. But also, by the way, if you test for it using the nasal swabs, then the government's going to manufacture zombies to eat your face. Is this the plot of a Resident Evil game? I don't know. Is that? I mean, I'm sorry. Of course, Resident Evil involves a corporation, not the government. Oh, no, of course not. My bad. But let's be clear. I think we can all pretty much be safe in saying that this is complete nonsense. Okay? Nonsense. No, COVID testing is not a government plot to make zombies, to make a zombified army for Satan. I mean, come on. People get tested to know if they have COVID. My wife, that's what she does for a living. She tests people for COVID right now, okay? Pretty sure she's not collecting DNA to make a Satan army, okay? I'm just saying. No, what's going on in here is obviously people who are doing the testing, the vaccines, they want to help people. They want to eventually vaccinate people so that we can all go back to normal. And that's it, or at least some semblance of normal. Going out to the movies, going out to eat at a restaurant, and not having to worry about giving your server COVID or getting it yourself from the table across the way. Or, how about not having your server have to come out in a hazmat suit? All right? That would be nice. That would be great. Getting back to sort of, again, some sort of normal. That's what we want. That's why you should get the vaccine. And that's why you should trust the medical science. And I know that people are like, oh, no, it's experimental and stuff. Well, I hear that all the time. But like, it has been thoroughly tested. It is safe and effective. Millions of people have already gotten the vaccine. And honestly, look, we're pretty good at doing imperialism. Okay, here in America, we do an imperialism all the time. Now, in doing so, we also tend to keep the resources for ourselves. Vaccines are another thing that we also keep to ourselves, okay? That's what we're doing. We're keeping the vaccine. We're buying up all the vaccines, all the Western countries, but mainly the United States has bought so many vaccines that even Canada is having an incredibly hard time getting their hands on vaccines, okay? They're having a difficult time. That's why their vaccination rates are fairly low. Ours are actually getting much, much better. And yet you have countries, in the developing world that are not doing well, that are not getting the virus. They are getting the virus. They're not getting the vaccine for the virus. That can be a bit of a problem, okay? Especially when you're trying to eliminate these variants that come out. The UK variant is actually stronger. What happens if there is a variant that might actually turn into the zombie virus? Who knows? But let's get, everybody vaccinated. And so the overall point here is that Jim Bakker is insane. Okay? Jim Bakker has always been about scaring people with the end times in order to peddle disgusting, food buckets, Prepper food buckets. And apparently it's a pretty good grift because it continues to work. He continues to do it. And he's making loads of money off it, probably more than I could ever see in my entire life. And I'm not saying, by the way, that people shouldn't prepare for disasters. No, of course. Hurricanes, floods, droughts, mass migration, food and water shortages, which, by the way, a lot of those will be the result of runaway climate change, and will happen probably roughly mid to the end of the century, with more intensity due to the results of climate change. We don't do anything, but that's something that, of course, Jim Bakker is not going to live to see, and therefore he doesn't really care much about it. But no, look, if you can, you're sure stock up on stuff for emergencies. Great. I wouldn't recommend the Jim Bakker buckets, but maybe, dry foods, additional water, things like that, just in case there is an emergency. But I'm pretty sure satanic zombies are not something that you are going to likely need to prepare for. And that also, I will add that Jim Bakker and Steve Quayle are both insane and full of shit. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.